Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the album Steeler by the band Steeler. This is their first and only album, and it came out in 1983. So before I get into the songs, I'm going to name off the band members really quick. Mark Edwards on drums, Ron Keel on vocals and guitar, Yngwie Malmsteen on lead guitar, and Rick Fox on bass and backing vocals. Alright, so the album starts off with the song Cold Day in Hell, and it's a very, very weak track, and honestly it's pretty forgettable. I'd say it's probably the worst song on the album. It's not technically a bad song, it's just kind of bland and forgettable, really. But yeah, Cold Day in Hell, not a great start to the album. But thankfully the album picks up after that with the song Backseat Driver. This one's really, really good. It's sort of a mid-paced kind of song, really catchy chorus, great vocals, great guitar work. But yeah, I really, really like the song. Actually, Backseat Driver should have been the opening track. But yeah, great song. The next song is called No Way Out. This is probably my favorite song on the album. It sort of starts off with sort of a mellow opening. Well, it starts off, I guess, technically right away with sort of a short guitar solo kind of thing, and then it goes into the slowed mid-pace sort of riff. And then the first part of the song, it starts off pretty mellow, and then it builds up, and of course the actual chorus bit, that's where the song speeds up just a little bit, and then it guitar solo, and then it slows back down for the end. It's just a really, really good, well-crafted song. The chorus is super catchy. The mellow parts are probably the best about the song, because, I don't know, they're just done so well, and they blend so seamlessly with the middle section where it speeds up a little bit. And Ron Keel's vocals on the mellow parts are really, really good. His vocals on the entire song are great, but those very sort of subtle, mellow parts, where his vocals are sort of a little bit softer and a little bit more, I guess, emotional. It just really, really works. The next song is called Hot on Your Heels. This is a faster paced song, sort of it kind of reminds me of a song from British Steel, the Judas Priest album. Not the vocal-wise, no, but musically, it kind of resembles a song from British Steel, one of the many songs on the British Steel album. It's just a great song, a really good sort of rhythmic, constant riff throughout the song. Again, Ron Keel's vocals are great as always. Pretty much he's great on this entire album. But yeah, a slightly faster song, and like I said, great riffing and great soloing as well. The next song is a short instrumental called Abduction. One of my favorite instrumentals on a metal album. Yeah, sure, it's only a minute long, a minute and a couple seconds long, I believe, but it's so good that it stands out. Despite how short of an instrumental it is. It also sounds kind of epic, really. It sounds like a very epic instrumental, which is hard to do when it's only 1 minute long. Also, I've kind of noticed a similarity between this instrumental and an instrumental on another album. For those of you who are familiar with the band Forbidden, the album that came out, I think one of their most recent albums, I believe it was I think it was released in 2010, but one of the newer Forbidden albums has an instrumental in the very beginning of it. Now, it's definitely a little bit longer than Abduction, but when I heard this, when I listened to this song and listened to this instrumental, then went back and listened to the opening instrumental of the newer Forbidden album, the one from 2010, Omega something. I've got what it's called. But those two, this instrumental and that one, sound very similar. And I mean very, very, very similar, to the point where I kind of think Forbidden ripped off Steeler. Like, if you go back and listen, if you go back and listen to that one, and listen to this instrumental, it just really sounds so similar, to the point where, again, they may have actually ripped off Steeler, but it just might be a coincidence, but it's just something I noticed. But yeah, Abduction is a great instrumental, even though it's super short. The next song is called On the Rocks. This one is really, really good. Again, it's kind of like Hot on Your Heels. It's a bit faster, a bit more up-tempo. Again, really great riffing, great soloing. Yeah, just overall great song, and definitely one of the best songs on the album. The next song is called Down to the Wire. This song slows the album down a bit. So, there were a couple faster paced songs, and then the music slows down a bit. With this song, it's a bit more laid back, I guess. It's not as frantic or not as, fast as some of the other ones on the album. But it's still a really good, very sort of like, I guess, sort of mellow song. But yeah, I really, really like it. The next song is called Born to Rock. This one, again, picks up the album. It's a bit faster one. Actually, this song kind of reminds me of... Hold on. No, that's not it. Hold on, give me a second. It kind of reminds me of the song Rock Out by Pantera. Not entirely, but there are definitely a couple bits of the song here and there that I can kind of see some similarities. But yeah, it's another great one, one of the faster ones, and it's just super catchy. Yeah, one of the best things about Steeler, in terms of their songs, are, well, of course, the soloing and the riffing, but also the extremely catchy chorus bits on their songs. But yeah, Born to Rock is great. And then the album ends with the song Serenade. Oh my god, this is probably my second or third favorite ballad on a metal album. Like, it's so good. And this ballad, actually, going back to early Pantera again, this ballad kind of reminds me of the ballad on the not Forever Tonight, on the I Am the Night album, the ballad Forever Tonight. There we go. Yeah, they kind of sound similar, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pantera took inspiration from the ballad on here, Serenade, because they kind of sound similar. It's really cool. It's like a ballad, a very emotional, slow burning ballad that builds up to a great solo, and just great sort of like end to the song. It's just a very, very emotional, very beautiful ballad, and a great way to end the album. So before I give my final thoughts on the verdict of the album, I'm going to talk about the cover and back part first. Now, in terms of artwork, there isn't really any artwork, but there are photos. 4 photos of the 4 band members. Of course, you got Ron Keel here, Yngwie Malmsteen here, Rick Fox here, and what's his name again? Mark Edwards here. And then you got the Steeler logo, which looks really, really cool. It's I love the font. It kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of, like, some old, like, mid-80s kind of, like, font, like they would use on, like, music-related magazines back in the day. Like, just the font reminds me of, like, a logo of one of those, like, music magazines from the mid-80s. I don't know why, it just does. I also really like it. It's sort of like a, I don't know, it kind of looks also like, the letters are blending together, which is kind of cool. I like the font. Like, you get the, you know, the singular letters, but then you also get, like, the T, which stretches out, and the L, which stretches out, which is really, really cool. And I really like the color palette. It's just red lettering with a bright yellow border around it. And then on the back, you get another picture of the band members, this time all together instead of separately. You get the track listing up here, and the names of the band members here, and then you get just the credits of the album. So overall, this is definitely one of the best mid-80s albums I've listened to. And honestly, it has, one, an extremely underrated metal vocalist with Ron Keel. Two, an extremely underrated guitar duo with Yngwie Malmsteen and Ron Keel. Yeah, Ron Keel, even though he's not pictured with a guitar here, according to the credits, he does actually play guitar on the album. So, yeah, I don't know why there's inconsistencies with the picture here where he's not even playing guitar, but, you know, whatever. I mean, the drumming's good. The drumming fits the style of music really well. Rick Fox is really good with the bass. Like, he's not one of my all-time favorite bass players, but he is. I do still really enjoy his bass playing. Of course, most people will know him from Wasp. Yeah, Rick Fox was in one of the earliest incarnations of Wasp, before they ever recorded anything. Like, by the time their first album came out, Rick Fox was already out of the band. But yeah, very, very good bass player. The album musically kind of sounds like, honestly, it kind of sounds like a mix between Motley Crue, 80s Pantera, and, Dokken. Yeah, it's kind of a weird, like, comparison to those bands, but that's kind of what I'm hearing in terms of the musical style here. It's sort of like, it's sort of like 80s metal, but with a slight, glam aspect to the songs at the time. But yeah, it just has a really good combination of sounds. Honestly, this is a near perfect album. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Really, the only complaint I have is the opening track, which is extremely boring. But every other song on the album is great and very, very enjoyable and just fun to listen to. But yeah, Steeler by Steeler gets a 9 out of 10. Now it's one of my favorite albums ever. Anyway. So, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.